Alright, so I ordered for the very first time Snuff, and it came from out of the country. I believe the manufacturer, or at least the provider of the Snuff, because this is McChrystals Snuff. I got the assorted 12 tin mini can thing that you can buy off their website, mrsnuff.com, and they will ship it to you. It took about 12 days to get here. I did open up the box. I haven't tried any of it yet. They're all still in this little plastic wrapper. I just wanted to look at what the different types were. But this is going to be my very first time taking Snuff ever. So I hope it goes well. I haven't looked through all of the assorted, I don't know if you call them flavors or scents or what it's considered. But I'm a pretty big fan of tobacco. I mean, I like cigars. At one point in time, I was, a smoker, like fucking every single day kind of smoker. Anywhere from a pack to 2 packs when I was a heavy drinker as well. But no longer a heavy drinker, no longer a heavy smoker. I vaped for a couple years. I smoked for a couple years. And nowadays, I'm just kind of on and off with it. I don't smoke on a daily basis. I don't drink on a daily basis. I don't really have any habits that pertain to a daily basis other than steak. So here's my 12 in front of me, so you guys can see them all. I'm going to read out what the actual, I guess, scents or flavor. I'm not entirely sure what you would call them. The variety pack came with. I'm not entirely sure if this is all of the flavors that McChrystals offers either. And let's just pick one, because I'm going to be going down it anyway. Alright, Sunset, Fine Keg, Highland Ice. I like menthol, so I'm guessing that's a menthol. We'll put that out to the side and see if it is. Aztec, Sunblast, Glacier, another probably menthol one, I'm guessing. Sicilian Burst, Summer Harvest, Old English, Mold Magic, Wee Dram, and Stargazer. I'm going to put Stargazer up here, and I think I'm going to do Stargazer for my very first one. This will be interesting, man. I'm honestly a little bit nervous for it, because I've been watching the videos of people trying it online, and I've seen quite a few people who are having reactions. This is a little kit that I bought off of Amazon, which I guess Amazon sells drug products, because I mean, you can call it a snuff bullet if you want to. I know what I used to put in these back in the day, and certainly it's not what I'm putting in this time around, but that's what I wanted it for, was a snuff container, because it's a bullet designed for you to put snuff in. There's a little air hole right here. Here's a knob right here, and all you have to do is just hold the arrow up on the knob, rotate this around, it fills up the top of this little axle through portion here, and then when you flip it back around, it's ready to go. And you breathe in right there in that little nose portion. And that gives you a quick, I guess you would call it toot? I don't know. I'm not familiar with snuff terminology. In fact, I'm not even entirely sure how much you're supposed to put in front of you when you try it out for the first time. So I may do too much. I may do too little. I'm not entirely sure. Forgive the god-awful unwrapping sounds. And possibly would have been a good idea to grab a knife for all the plastic wrap around it, because I don't have any fingernails. Alright, this is a cheap gas station knife I leave laying around my house. Don't judge me for it being pink and purple in color. It is literally just it might as well be a letter opener at this point around my house, because that's all it really does. It just sits out in the open. For those of you who are new to the channel, I'm Chris. This is like my little side project. I do have a main channel, but that's not what we're really truly talking about today. But if you don't mind hitting the subscribe button, I am doing medical experiments, taking something called Stargazer that I bought from the Isle of Man on the internet on my phone, and I'm about to shove it up my nose using instruments that are clearly made for cocaine use, but today obviously tobacco use, because tobacco is not prohibited by Wow, that is a super fine powder, and that tin is way fuller than I thought that was going to be. Like, I thought it was going to be leveled off. No, this tin is like to the brim and past it. In fact, that might actually be a little bit of a pain. Make sure that doesn't spill anywhere. That's a lot inside of that tin. I wonder if I could use the back side of the tin to pack it down real quick. Oh yeah, it's very well aerated. Probably from a bumpy ride. Alright, cool. That made it a lot better. I just used the top of the can to pat it down, get it back in line. Now it kind of looks a little bit like foundation, like powdery. Let's see. What are we going to use from the kit that we have today? I have a straw in case you need a straw. There is the glass bullet. There's like this little fucking vial. I'm going to call it a vial, just a vial that comes with a little spoon on it. Maybe that's what we end up trying out. Maybe. I don't know how much to take. This is honestly, I'm a little bit lost for words on how much is an appropriate dose. How much do I do? Do I use the bullet first and see how it goes, or am I going to go too far and make myself miserable? I guess it's to be determined in a very short amount of time, because here we go. All right, let's do... Ooh, I didn't think about this. Let's do the glass bullet. I'm going to try that one. That way you guys can see how it works. And hopefully, honestly, I can learn how it works a little bit better. Let's see. Tiny shovel. Tiny shovel amount. I think one of these would be about half of one of these tiny cans. You can get a larger can portion variety thing of these, and I'm sure that might work out better, but for now we're just filling it up an incy amount at a time. Oh, there's a little funnel in here too. I forgot about that. That might help. That definitely helps. I can tell already that's going to help. Let's see. I don't mind if I lose some, because I don't imagine I'm going to be going through all of this. I just wanted a new experience, try something new, you know. Sometimes you get a little bored in life, you want to mix things up. And, you know, I don't care what people say, you know, tobacco is a drug, alcohol is a drug, aspirin is a drug, ibuprofen is a drug. Anything that has an effect on you is a drug. And just like all drugs, you know, use responsibly. Whatever you're taking, don't take too much of it. Don't, you know, pay attention to how it makes you feel on and off, because that's how addiction happens, man. So, just a little warning to those who are thinking that this isn't going to be as addictive as cigarettes, or this isn't going to be as addictive as vaping, and oh yeah, I can control my consumption, and blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, all addiction is, you know, driven by willpower. I'm a person who has stronger willpower than the average person. Anytime that I've said I'm going to quit, I can quit. Year, 2 years, you know, I don't have an issue with actually doing it. I don't have an issue with staying away from it. I don't have an issue with refraining from it. I can go into a gas station, not buy a pack of cigarettes or a vape. I can, you know, go into a Lee's discount liquor with a friend and not grab anything off the shelf. I don't have a problem with that either. And, yeah, I guess you should always just be aware of who you are as a person and know what substances are good and bad for you specifically. For me, tobacco is one of those that I enjoy, but it doesn't have to be around me 24/7. Even though I was a daily smoker at certain points in time. I think I was a daily smoker because I was just bored half the time. And like, the more I had going on in my life, the less I wanted to smoke. So let me see if I can pick this up on camera. I'm going to try and make this easy. See how there's a little arrow right here that's pointing up? We're going to keep that pointing up. Sorry for the audio in the background. You might hear, let's see, get a little shake in there. Shit, did we get anything at all? Looks like we did. It's just a little distorted. Alright. This might suck, this might not suck. I have no idea how it's going to go. Oh, we definitely got it. All right, they weren't lying when they said you might tear up a little. All right. I've got a burn, I want to say, from the very beginning of my nose to about the very top of my throat. It's not bad. The eye watering is like slightly substantial. I can tell there's a little bit of nicotine effect already. Not super, super strong, but also I'm taking what I think is probably a very moderate amount. Let's make this very easy so I can tell exactly how much I'm getting by tipping it out on the table so I can see. Make sure there's some in there. Yes, there is. Ooh, might be a little bit packed in there. Or I just didn't get a good go around on that one. I don't think I did. Or maybe I just have virgin lungs and I'm not that strong. Ah, there we go. That's the proper amount. Now, I know that doesn't probably look like a lot to you guys because it's across the table from you, and there's kind of a bit of a wide angle effect going on with the camera as well too, because it's not entirely a giant wingspan, but the green screen that's behind me is big enough that I can spread out like this, probably about 4 feet or something like that. So imagine this little tiny bit that isn't much further in front of the screen than I am. That's a good amount. So I'm going to use this straw, and I'm going to do the other nostril, and we'll see how it goes. By the way, the flavor, or at least the scent profile, gives me kind of like an incense feel. Not bad, but it certainly smells, if you remember when you were a kid, if you ever went over to somebody's house and they used incense to cover up the smell of like weed in their house or something like that, that's what this smells like. It smells like that incense. I don't know why, but it's just exactly like that. And I bet quite a few people know exactly like maybe is it frankincense or something like that I'm talking about, but it's a very distinct smell and you would know it if you ever smelled it. That side burned more. That side certainly burned more. I didn't take it all off the table because it was already starting to burn. I think you get accustomed to that. And I think those senses don't become as intense as time goes on. You probably get a little bit desensitized to it as time goes on. I'm getting a bit of a licorice taste. And I can't tell if I want to sneeze or if my nose is just like slightly runny from it. It might be. I wouldn't be surprised. There's a little bit of drip. And the drip tastes like licorice. That is so weird. That is so weird. It smells like incense when you sniff it. Then the drip in the back of your throat tastes like licorice. It's really not bad. Like, as far as ingestion methods goes, to put it on a scale, vaping was probably my favorite because the flavor is incredible. You get to blow out the smoke, and that's always fun, or the vapor, and that's always fun. Cigarettes are like bottom tier as far as nicotine delivery goes. The only thing that's good about it is you get that massive throat hit that you do grow to love when you're a smoker, like that feeling, that almost soothing, that it's like slightly rough on your throat every time that you take a drag, and especially when you're like drinking, like it's very stimulating, kind of keeps you wanting more. Like more and more and more, like, shot, beer, cigarette, shot, cigarette, mixed drink, cocktail, cigarette, fuck, whatever you're going to have. Kind of just goes hand in hand. Now this right here, let's see, use cases. If I was in a movie theater, this would be good. Would it be as good as Snuff in a movie theater? Probably not, because I wouldn't have to sniffle. But also, I feel like I could probably take one of these relatively quietly. And you know what's funny is my body didn't get that warm sensation that I usually get when I ingest, like, you know, dip or like chew. I didn't get that like body temperature rising up effect from this, which is odd because I usually do. I don't get it from vaping. I don't get it from smoking. I get it from dip, and I get it from Snuff. So Snuff, not unlike vaping or smoking, I don't feel my core body temperature rising. Like I don't feel like I got any warmer, which is not a bad thing for me. I don't particularly like that feeling. I don't want to feel like I am standing in a building that just got 10 degrees warmer. It's not fun for me. All right, I'm going to do this last little piece right here and see what the effects are. Not bad. Actually, less sensitive that time. Like already. I don't know if I'm just braced for impact or already becoming desensitized, but possibly. And again, Snuff, hard to find in the, well, not again. There's the sneeze. I feel like that needed to happen. Snuff, not easy to find in the United States. This is actually I believe, old English tradition when they were outlawing smoking in Parliament. But of course, all the officials who were addicted to tobacco still wanted nicotine. They weren't going to sit there and be spitting all day long with a big old thing of chew in their mouth. They started taking Snuff. So that is a little bit of history behind the use. People who had an addiction just didn't want to feel addicted all the time. Because that's the only time addiction actually bothers you, by the way, is when you're craving. When you're in addiction and you have whatever you need, you're fine. You know, it's like being normal. Who cares? But, yeah, I guess that wraps it up. Overall, as an experience, I think it was worth trying. I mean, this whole experience cost me $28. I had to wait about 10 days or something like that. Mr. Snuff is legit. It's a good website, mrsnuff.com. They ship it to you. It takes a while, but I mean, all in all, it's coming in from overseas. It's got to go through customs, and then it's got to travel from New York to me. I'm in Las Vegas, so it wasn't bad shipping time considering what the product was. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I guess I'm gonna have to see long-term how viable it is in life. Like, when am I going to want it? When am I going to think that that would improve my day? I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I feel like if I were about to walk into a gym and work out, it'd kind of be like a good little pick-me-up. Because you don't want to smoke a cigarette and then go for a jog. But like this, I feel fine. I feel like I can go on a mountain bike ride. I feel like I can go on a hike. I feel like I can, still do physical activities. But when you smoke a cigarette, it just, exhaustion. Immediate exhaustion. So, this is probably better than a cigarette, in my opinion. And these little bullets do work. Although you couldn't see the product inside of here because of the distortion of the glass and everything. Trust me, that was enough. That was enough for each nostril. I think you get a good buzz off of that. Like, I can feel it. I can feel it in the forearms. I can feel it in the shoulders. I can feel it in the back and the front of the head. Kind of like almost a helmet of like sensation going on, like a half shell helmet of sensation going on up top. And it's not a bad feeling overall. I like it. All right, that concludes this video. Thanks for watching, guys. If you don't mind, hit the subscribe button. I'll catch you next time.